Hi friends, CK here. I wanted to do a video specifically focused on the housing market here in Mountain Shadows, not only because I live here, but because so many of you that are neighbors, friends, and clients routinely ask me about this very hot housing market and what that means for those of us who are homeowners here in Mountain Shadows, and for those of you I know are hoping to be future homeowners here in Mountain Shadows. So what I'd like to do is do a deep dive and give you a snapshot of where the market stands through the first 3 quarters of 2020 compared to 2019. In fact, I'm going to take it all the way through the first 3 weeks of October. Can you believe it? We're already into the 4th quarter. So I'd like to share some information that may be helpful for you as you think about your home's value, your equity, and what may be next for you if you're looking to either sell or potentially buy here in Mountain Shadows. So lots of good news, good statistics to share. So what's really interesting is that our new listings year to date, so all of this information is through October 21st of this year, 2020. So all the data is year to date. That this year we already have had 104 active listings here in Mountain Shadows. How does that compare to last year? Well, at this time last year, there were only 68 listings that had come on the market in 2019. So that's a 53% increase in market activity just in our local neighborhood of Mountain Shadows. Now you might ask, why such a significant increase? And there's really 2 things that I see as recurring trends, especially we saw it last year, we've seen it accelerate this year. The first is the number of new construction homes, patio homes that we've seen in our neighborhood. Obviously what you have over on Centennial with the paired patio homes, but also a number of the vacant lots. We've seen new construction that went on the market last year or this year, and those homes are closing. So new construction. And then I would also say that the other element is we're so blessed that there are so many homeowners who live in Mountain Shadows, residents who have been here 20, 30 years since the neighborhood was created in the mid to late 1990s. And obviously with an aging population, what we're seeing is that many of those homeowners have chosen to downsize at this point in time, and so more homes have come on the market as long-term residents have chosen to perhaps move to their retirement home or to a different part of the country. So that's why we've seen from 68 new listings last year to 104 new listings at this point in time this year, and we're not done yet. So what about solds? Well, as you would imagine, of course, sold listings are higher, even in the midst of a pandemic, even in the midst of a market that started more slowly. We really didn't see it deeply accelerate or heighten, I should say, until May or June of this year, and we typically see that in March and April. So at this point last year, we had 54 solds, and that's all homes. That's existing homes, new construction, condos, townhomes, patio homes, single-family homes. We had 54 sold by this time last year, but now we've already had 77 homes come on the market and close already through October 21st of this year. That's a 42.5% increase in solds. Good news. How about average days on the market? Well, what's interesting here is the average day on the market in 2019, year to date, was 40 days. This year in Mountain Shadows, it's 58 days. You might say, well, does that mean that the market's slowing? I think it means 2 things, 2 realities I've seen. First of all, the new construction that's on the market is typically on the market at least 120 to 180 and sometimes 200 days. So of course that's going to skew the average. But the other thing that we're seeing is there are really 3 types of homes here in Mountain Shadows. This isn't rocket science to any of us, but we really have 3 categories of homes, and you should be considering which type of home is yours. We have the original homes built in the mid to late 90s. Those homes still remain beautiful and attractive, but many of them have not been updated. So those homes that have yet to be updated sometimes will spend more time on the market. And we've certainly seen that this summer and this fall, that the original homes that have had either few updates or very modest updates, they're spending more like 70 to 80 days on the market. Second category of home are those homes who they were originally built. Maybe they're 96, 98 in terms of when they were built, but homeowners have done extensive upgrades and they've really modernized. The floor plan may still look like the late 90s, but the interior and exterior is absolutely gorgeous with significant upgrades. And then that third category are those who unfortunately lost their homes as part of the Waldo Canyon fire and either rebuilt or they sold their lots and other homes have been rebuilt. So we have very, very new homes. We have homes that are almost brand new because of the renovations and upgrades, and then those that are part of the classic originals that really defined the wonderful Mountain Shadows community. So part of the reason we're seeing homes on the market longer, new construction, and we are seeing that it's taking the original homes not updated longer to sell. Now here's what you really want to know. Tell me what's happening in the market with price point here in Mountain Shadows, not just Colorado Springs, but Mountain Shadows. Our average list price through year to date, October of last year, in all of Mountain Shadows was just under $519,000. So again, just peaking that first third of $500,000 at $519,000. Where are we now? It's been amazing. Over a 10% increase in property value yet again. And I'm going to give you some more detail about that. But now we're seeing our average list price at just over $571,000. So from $518,000 to $571,000 in list price. But we're especially seeing a jump from June to September. The June to September numbers show that our list price, and I'll talk to you about sale price in a moment, is growing as much as 12 to 15% in the Mountain Shadows market. So now let's show you the money. What about sold prices? So our average sale price, and again, we have a whole spectrum of homes in the Mountain Shadows community, but our average sold price this time last year was just under, slightly under $509,000. This year, we're at a whopping $561,000. So from $509,000 to $561,000 in 1 year's time. Again, a 10.3% increase in our average sold price here in Mountain Shadows. But what we've seen from June to September is more on average of a 14% increase in sold price. What that continues to tell us is that the market continues to accelerate, a slower start, but tremendous acceleration at the end of the third quarter. And I can also tell you, fourth quarter is looking mighty good as well already. One of the things I'm interested in is the fact of you can't always value a home based upon its price per square foot. But we saw last year our price per square foot on average was $139. In just 1 year's time, it is now averaging $158 per square foot. Again, new construction is driving that up, but also is the fact that just an extraordinarily low volume of inventory on the market. Our inventory is down 49% in Colorado Springs broadly. All right, so tremendous demand continues to drive overall price up, and the new construction in our area continues to lift the average price per square foot spent on a home. So all of this is super, super good news if you're considering selling your home. One of the things that I want to share with you is exactly what I shared in fourth quarter of last year. A lot of folks think that the peak time to get highest and best price is second or third quarter. But because the Colorado Springs market is so atypical and it's just not skyrocketing, it is remaining blazing hot. That fourth quarter was an extraordinarily great time to put your home on the market and sell it last year in Mountain Shadows, and we're finding that to continue to be true. Everything that we're seeing about price point, list price, sold price, offers on the table in our community is that fourth quarter is a tremendous time for peak pricing. So that's really key. As I shared with so many of you, when you introduce your home to the market really matters. How you introduce it matters, and when matters for highest and best price. So as my recent mailing to all of you shared, if you've been on the fence about whether or not to wait it out till next year or consider selling this year, I just want you to know that here in Mountain Shadows, and certainly on the west side, but particularly here, fourth quarter remains a remarkably strong and attractive time for sellers. The other fact is, we did not have our military go through a permanent change of station this summer, but they will be going through a permanent change of station, needing to be situated by December 1st this year. Usually it's at the end of the year. This year it's by December 1st, so they can quarantine, stay in place, and be ready for their new assignments in January. So we're about to be flooded with a whole host of new buyers. So if you're on the fence and you're considering selling, let me share a few ideas with you. First of all, again, I'm bullish on Mountain Shadows, and I'm bullish on highest and best price in fourth quarter. But the other thing that I want to share with you is get a comparative market analysis. One of the things that I say to every client, but especially here in our higher price point of Mountain Shadows, is if selling your home is even on your radar screen in the next 12 to 18 months, then I hope you'll allow me to once a quarter, and it's important to do it that frequently, once a quarter, to have a comparative market analysis completed on your home. I've been doing this with several clients, showing them the difference in comps and the difference in strategy and pricing strategy depending upon when you bring your home to market. So I'd be happy to give you no obligation, completely complimentary CMA, and let's work together to make sure that how you introduce your home, when you introduce your home, meets your pricing strategy, your pricing goals, all right? Third thing is, one of the things we keep learning, and we've seen it very keenly this year with the homes in Mountain Shadows that sat on the market for a longer period of time, is that updates, renovations, and upgrades are worth it. They pay off, and they're really needed if you want to take advantage of this tremendous acceleration of pricing here in Mountain Shadows. The homes where we see sit and the prices continue to go down $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, $60,000 from list are those that have not been thoroughly updated and renovated. So again, if selling is in your long-term view, whether that's, and maybe I should say 12 to 18 months, then now is the time to consider renovations and upgrades. I'd be happy to talk to you about the types of updates where you maximize your ROI and those things that it's worthy to say, you know what, let's not invest there. So upgrade, sell, you get your ROI back in spades, and it's worth doing. Fourth thing I've already illuminated or suggested is that not just when you bring your home to the market, but how you bring your home to the market matters. And that's one of the areas where I feel that I have real gifting and strength and have been able to super serve clients well, is planning a strategy about how to introduce your home to the market to maximize highest and best price. So when matters and how matters. But let me sort of deep dive to another point there. Your home is unique. Wherever you fall on the spectrum of the homes here in Mountain Shadows, your home is unique and your needs are unique. So I'm not an agent or realtor who's going to say, hey, I've got a one-size-fits-all marketing strategy. No, that's why I spend an awful lot of time, hopefully months in advance, really doing a market analysis as well as an appraisal gap assessment of where your home is going to hit market and how the market will respond, but also where it will appraise to make sure we don't have that appraisal gap that, again, people keep falling into that trap of, yes, the market is here, but the appraisal value is here. So your home is unique, your needs are unique. And so the idea of having a very customized strategy for when and how to introduce your home to the market is really what I specialize in. It's why I am so deeply invested in serving homeowners here in Mountain Shadows and why I wanted to share this information with you. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope you'll allow me the privilege of the opportunity to provide you a comparative market analysis. And whether you're buying or selling, you should do that of your home every 2 years, especially in this rapidly evolving, just hyper accelerating market that we're in. We're fortunate to be in here in Colorado Springs and certainly in our wonderful, highly desirable area of Mountain Shadows. The last note that I want to leave you with is on a whole different front. We all know that this has been an extraordinary year. In many ways, it's been a very difficult year for so many in our community. So can I exhort you and challenge you to spend 15 minutes? I hope you'll do it today. If not, I hope you'll do it this weekend. Could you take 15 minutes and with a pen and paper and a stamp, would you send a note of encouragement for those who are really at the margins and perhaps feeling just the pain and the sting of loneliness? I'm mindful of so many of us who have an aunt or an uncle or a parent or a grandparent who may be in a retirement community or assisted living or even in a nursing home. These folks are so isolated and they're so lonely. So would you spend 15 minutes, perhaps with a personal phone call or sending a note of encouragement, and choose to be a blessing today? Let's continue to be good to each other, to take care of one another, to stay safe. And again, thank you for the privilege to serve you. Thank you for being a neighbor and a friend here in Mountain Shadows. And again, if I can help you in any way, real estate or otherwise, I hope you won't hesitate to reach out to me at 719-257-3810. Or again, you can always reach me at ck@liveyourdreamincolorado.com. Thanks for being a great friend and a great neighbor. I hope to see you soon. Stay well.